Hi,
So,
everyone. This is Kali Starr with Earth Matters, and I'm here with Andrew of Sunrise Organic Farm, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his farm. I'm so excited to talk to him and share with you guys all about him because we've had some great conversations, and this will be really fun. So, hi, Andrew.
hey, how you doing, Callie?
Good.
Good. Thanks for giving me the opportunity today. I really appreciate that. It's really fun to talk about this stuff. We kind of live and breathe farming, and so it's always awesome to be able to reach more people and kind of tell our story and why it's so important to support organics in your local farming community. Um, we started this company back in 2015 after doing it for decades for other people, and finally decided to kind of give it a go ourselves. And we started with 12 acres down in Carpinteria, which is just south of Santa Barbara County there. And we kind of expanded as much as we could in that area, and then had to find kind of a new main facility up north in the Santa Rita Hills area, because land obviously is getting kind of limited with all the development and also water constraints. And we've been up here for just going on 4 years now, and we have 7 farms all over Santa Barbara County, and we just passed 200 acres altogether. And so it's been quite a journey over the last 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and so today I just kind of wanted to talk to you about just organics and how important the role of CSA just is to smaller farmers, and also just to our independence as far as just a national security issue, which is feeding your people. If you have food and water, you can get through nearly everything. But if you start having problems and supply chains break down and you're not able to give the population sustenance, then things really melt down rapidly. And so just I wanted to convey to everybody just how important it is to support your local farms and your local just community in general, because it really is the backbone kind of the community, is this supply chain that we have, that people often don't really understand how much stuff comes from abroad in Mexico and Peru and places like that, even Spain. But when something happens like we just experienced with COVID, those supply chains break down and borders close and we're not able to get things. And so it's really important for people to support their local farming, and through CSAs is probably one of the best ways. And I say this because, you really, just like we were talking about earlier with an order that you placed with us, is, you can be much more flexible with what we have. And maybe things that don't look like grade A number one because there's a couple bug holes and things in it, some of those things they still have the same flavor, same utility value, but cosmetically they're maybe a little bit blemished. And CSAs really help farmers out, and they're really the difference between being profitable and not, because leaving 50% of your crop in a field because it doesn't look perfect is a huge problem for farmers.
Yes, and in my the way that I see it, it doesn't need to cost less if you have some bug marks on your collards, let's say, because the quality is the best quality. Quality is in the soil. It's
It
the
is.
people that are behind it. It's, the nutritional value of that vegetable is much higher when you have soil that is so alive and
A-
rich.
Absolutely. I mean, we see nutrient levels that are 10 times and even higher than conventional farming with organics, because we do have an amazing ability to create nitrogen from organic and natural sources, as opposed to using petroleum based ones. But you're right about the quality thing. And also, I used to work with somebody who worked at a farmer's market, and one of the funniest lines that I heard him tell a customer, they were complaining about the kale having a couple holes in it, and he said, "Man, why would you want to eat something the bug won't eat?" You know.
That's what I say. Are you kidding me? I have a friend, Gene, our the fruit farm,
Oh
Gene.
yes.
Yeah, so he says we charge extra for protein.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm like, yeah.
Couple acres in there, no problem. Of organic farming is soil health, and really keeping that in equilibrium is a huge thing for us. And a healthy plant can really defend itself, and so you don't really need to apply a lot of herbicides, pesticides, anything like that. we do most of our cultivation by hand. We do have some tractors that drag knives and things, but it's a very kind of connected to the earth process that we have, just with organic farming in general. And a lot of the things that we do are methods that have been tried and true for 30, 40, 50 years, even more. But at the same time, it's important to kind of embrace the technology and to kind of move forward with things and become more efficient so that you can compete with some of the larger people. But we're really into soil health, large compost program, 2 acres of compost we keep at any given time, and that's expanding actually to another facility. So we'll have 4 acres, and it's really kind of the make or break element to our farming. It increases shelf life, it increases the nutrient content, and it increases basically just the viability of the plant in general. And it allows you to kind of overcome a lot of problems that you would run into if you had nutrient depleted soil.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So the other day we were on the phone and we were talking about what we could order and, just the different vegetables that you had. And you seemed to feel very refreshed at, how my attitude towards how we could order things, because there was one thing you said, well, we might not have enough of this whole thing. And I said, well, no problem. If you don't have enough of it, I'll either get this other thing from you, and some people would get that thing and other people get the other vegetable, or I'll support another farm that can do it, and we'll get half of it from you and half of it from them. And you really lit up when I said that, and I was really pleased about that because I felt like, wow, he understands that how much I care.
Yeah, I mean, it's really wonderful when somebody does that. The flexibility, especially in farming, there are so many unknowns that we can't control. Good climate and bugs are 2 of them, but there are a lot of other ones. And sometimes the yields don't come in where you need to, or sometimes there's issues that sunburning and things like that, and so you lose part of what you're planning on harvesting. And so the CSA, and especially with you being flexible and allowing some substitutions, maybe in the same product line, but not exactly the sunburst squash that you had ordered. Maybe it's patty pan or something to that extent. It's huge for farmers because we're allowed to still sell all the things that we need to. It helps us on things that aren't moving as rapidly in the normal marketplace, the stores and things like that. And it really revitalizes a farm, as far as just its fiscal sustainability. And so just a lot of these things that you would miss your sale, or you would have to try to reallocate from one person to another, which really doesn't help the farm that much. It helps the customer, which is wonderful,
Right.
and that's what we're always going for. But as far as we're concerned, it's still the set number of widgets that we have, and just trying to find the home so everybody's happy. It takes it one step farther, and it really helps.
Well, we're finding a balance, and I want to give our gratitude for our subscribers too, because you guys are the ones that are really supporting this, and so I'm really grateful for that we have customers that understand how this is, because it's important, and we want you to be supported. We want you to keep doing what you're doing. We rely on you for food. That's the most important thing. So to me,
Absolutely.
it's really about making sure that you guys, have what you need as well. And so there's a
Absolutely.
balance between all of us, right? And how we can make it work, right? And
Absolutely. I appreciate you saying that, because that's not often the approach that customers take, especially to farming. And so it's really
yeah,
refreshing to have, all that community support that you derive through your programs.
yeah. Well, sometimes when you have a vegetable, maybe it's not the exact one that you wanted, or you're hoping to get a certain thing, and sometimes that shows up. It's really exciting, and sometimes something else shows up, and it's like, okay, I'm going to work with this. It's all right. Then you come up with something really brilliant. I mean, that's part of what being in a CSA is about, because you start to learn different ways that you might like things, and or you give it to a neighbor and it's just a friendly thing.
Yeah,
that
no, no,
happens,
absolutely, and
right?
it's so cool because it makes you get out of your comfort zone, and
Yeah,
that's so important for all of us, because we're exposed to things that we perhaps didn't think that we'd ever like, and one of the number one things that I tell people, kohlrabi is a really good one for me. I
Love
love
kohlrabi.
kohlrabi. I use it for everything. You know, it goes in spring rolls, salads. Yeah, I mean, you can do everything with it. It's an
Yes.
all-purpose.
Yes.
Um, and you know, it's so much fun at the farmers markets to let people try some things, and we can't do it right now and give samples because of everything going on. But in the past, it's been amazing just to see people light up when they try something that is like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, you know, and then they come back and it's their new favorite thing. And so it's fun to be able to kind of force things on people a little bit so that they have to get creative and
Yes.
try some things. We
It's
get stuck
really
in
fun.
ways. It really is.
It really is. I have a
So,
lot of fun doing it. I love making videos for people and just sharing with them, you know, how to try different things and just getting their response to say, you know, oh my God, I actually did fall in love with this kohlrabi. I just didn't know, you know.
so cool. It really is neat. And so you know, that's part of the fun for the CSA. You know, I before we had these farms, I was part of a CSA, and I was always excited to see what came in the box, and I was always hoping actually that it was something that I wasn't familiar with, because then we really get to have some fun, experience it, look up new recipes, you know, really rock it. So
Yeah,
it's
there was this. I don't watch much videos. You know, I'm just my whole world is consumed with all kinds of things. But I don't watch much like TV shows, or I don't have Netflix. But I saw this episode of Portlandia where they opened they opened a CSA box, and there was a. I mean, we would never get durian fruit. We would never get that out here. But they had a durian fruit in there, and it turned into. They were like, "What is this? Oh
that's
wow, our CSA is here!" You know, and then it's like this
yeah. Oh, that's
and the durian fruit turns into an alien and it like takes over their house. But you know, that's you know, it's an adventure. That's my
that's
point. It's an
that is definitely an adventure. That's one of the most unique things you could ever find in the CSA box. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll be able to grow durian out here. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. We're playing with jackfruit right now, and so that's going to be a fun
Well,
one,
that would
hopefully.
be wonderful.
Yeah, so
Absolutely. I've
we'll
not
see if that
actually
works.
found a fresh organic jackfruit because they're all shipped in and none of them really I think are
Right,
organic, so I don't buy them. But if you
right.
grow them, wow, like I'll
Yeah,
have to make a soup out of
it's
that.
gonna be a fun one. So
Yeah.
hopefully it works out. We'll see. I'll know in the next couple months how we're doing.
Really?
Yeah,
That's good. Well,
and so
thank you for
yeah.
doing that, for trying new varieties.
Yeah, you've got, you know, we
Learning.
have to, we add about 15 varieties each year. And some of them replace older varieties that aren't as sought after and we have trouble moving, but a lot of the stuff stays on the schedule. And I think we're up to 242 different crop row vegetables throughout the year, all different varieties, which is just uh, incredible.
That is
Um,
incredible.
and it's amazing how quickly it's grown. You know, we started with about 80 commodities throughout the entire year, and it's gone all the way to there. So it's really neat. Kind of a one-stop shop is what we're trying to do, where we can stock a grocery store and all those things with all of our varieties. So,
Yeah.
but it's been great. It's been a heck of a time. You know, farming is a very hard life, but it's a very rewarding life, and it's something that, you know, if you're concerned about working 7 days a week, it might not be for you, because it really is a full-time thing. I mean, the plants are basically your children. You have to watch them and take care of them and check up on them constantly and make sure everything's going well. But it's incredible, like just having the opportunity to talk to people like you and a lot of our other customers, and just the excitement that they both they and we feel for this product and for what we do is just, it's one of the most rewarding things that you can experience, really.
Well, there's just it's the most wonderful thing in the world. Vegetables,
Yeah.
organic vegetables, health.
More with you. I couldn't agree more with you.
Yes.
It's just fun, and it's great to be able to go out there and pick what you're gonna have for dinner, and you know, just really kind of live off the
Yeah.
land. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been a heck of a journey, and we love it, and we have a new facility that's just going to be incredible, and I encourage both you and your customers, if they'd like to swing by the farm and take a look, we have an open door policy. Love to have people come by anytime.
Oh, they
And
love
so
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
with this new facility, we can set some things up and maybe bring some groups up if they're interested, and it'll be really fun.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah,
I'm not sure when we'll be out of this.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, where
It'll
we
be a
can
little
have
bit of time,
groups
but
together.
yeah, keep that on the docket just in
Yeah.
case. Yeah,
Maybe,
So
yeah. Okay, but people could come and they can contact you, and
absolutely.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, we
How you
have
fit that
new
into your
people at Sunlight.
schedule, I don't know, but thank you.
Well, it's so important for us to have people have this type of exposure. A lot of people don't realize what goes into creating food, and it's really neat to be able to kind of walk them through the process, show them what happens. It creates a more of an appreciation for what you're doing and what you're eating, which is really great.
Thank you so much
Oh, it's my
for sharing
pleasure. I had a great
everything.
time.
It's incredible. I mean, it's always fun to talk to you. So I'm just very
I
lucky that
appreciate
we've
that.
connected
Great.
this year, and yeah, and just everything for all the produce that you're sending us, and just the different varieties you have. I'm so grateful for it. It's all gorgeous. And this week, everybody, we're getting some tomatoes. What are they called? Mountain Magic tomatoes.
Mountain Magic's one of my favorite tomatoes. It's a Campari tomato,
That's the
which is
best
on the
name.
vine. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just absolutely incredible. I think for my money, that's probably the best thing that we grow. I mean, our heirlooms are
Wow.
amazing, and the sugar content's through the roof. But this little tomato is really special.
Well, lucky us, it's the beginning of the season, and we're hitting it off with, the first week of
Yeah.
us getting tomatoes is Mountain Magic tomatoes. So I feel really great about that. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thank you so much for taking the time today. This has been really fun. I've
Oh, thank
enjoyed
you. I
myself.
know you've got to rush out.
You do.
All
Plenty
right.
of things going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, Andrew.
That sounds wonderful, Callie. Take care.